We're counting down 10 criminal organizations so powerful they didn't just break the law, they replaced it. From prohibition-era syndicates that bought entire city halls to cartels pulling in billions per year and deploying private armies, each entry on this list seized territory, corrupted governments, and ruled as shadow states. Some are still expanding right now. Here's how deep the rot goes, starting at number 10. In the 10th place, the Irish mob turned America's docks into their personal empire. During Prohibition, Irish bootleggers moved an estimated 30 million bottles of illegal whiskey every month, fueling a criminal economy worth over $2 billion in today's money. Boston's North End and New York's Hell's Kitchen became strongholds, with mob-controlled dock unions skimming a cut from every crate that landed. Bribed city officials and union enforcers kept the pipeline running, while speakeasies flourished under mob protection. At their peak, Irish crews supplied over half of New England's contraband liquor, outpacing every rival. But the crackdown came hard in the 1950s and the 1960s. Racketeering indictments, televised trials, and the purge of dozens of corrupt police officers shattered the old order. The Irish mob's blueprint of union rackets, political payoffs, and brute force set the stage for every syndicate that followed. Their legacy is a warning. When poverty and corruption collide, the law doesn't just bend, it breaks. Number 9. The Bloods and Crips turned the neighborhoods of South Los Angeles into battlegrounds and then into shadow states. Born out of the chaos of deindustrialization and the vacuum left by failed policing in Watts and Compton during the late 1960s and the 70s, these rival gangs carved up city blocks with brutal precision. For over 50 years, they have controlled street corners, drug markets, and entire housing projects, enforcing their rule through drive-bys, intimidation, and a code of silence. Homicide rates soared as turf wars escalated, with the 1980s crack epidemic pushing annual murder counts in some districts above 1,000. Community programs and police sweeps have struggled to break their grip, as both gangs adapted, fractured, and re-emerged stronger. Even today, the legacy of the Bloods and Crips is written in the scars of Los Angeles, where the law's authority ends, their rule begins. 8th place, the 18th Street Gang rewrote the rules of street crime by turning Los Angeles neighborhoods into recruitment grounds for a criminal army that would soon span continents. Born in the city's Pico Union District, 18th Street grew fast, drawing in immigrants from Central America, Mexico, and beyond. But the real explosion came in the 1990s, when mass deportation sent thousands of gang members back to El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. What started as a local menace became a transnational force. Within a decade, 18th Street set up shop in at least 5 Central American capitals, exporting Los Angeles-style gang structure, hand signs, and brutal extortion rackets. In cities like Tegucigalpa and San Salvador, local police found themselves outgunned and outnumbered as the gang taxed entire neighborhoods for protection, fueling a shadow economy of fear. The 18th Street Gang's legacy is clear. When borders fail, violence spreads, and a street crew can become a multinational threat. Number 7. The Aryan Brotherhood transformed America's prison system into their own fortress. Founded in the chaos of San Quentin during the 1960s, this white supremacist syndicate now commands an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 members, an army that stretches from cell blocks to city streets. Inside, nothing moves without their approval. From heroin smuggling to gambling rings, the Brotherhood taxes every transaction, turning the prison economy into a source of power and profit. Their reach extends beyond the walls, with contracted murders ordered from solitary confinement and outside associates carrying out hits across state lines. Federal prosecutors have spent decades targeting the Brotherhood through sweeping RICO indictments, but the gang's decentralized cell structure and code of silence keep convictions rare and leadership insulated. The Aryan Brotherhood's legacy is a warning. When violence and ideology fuse behind bars, the law itself can become just another line to cross. Number 6. The Yakuza transformed organized crime into a corporate empire woven into the fabric of Japanese society. At their height, an estimated 30,000 full members and up to 50,000 affiliates operated under a strict, ritualized code, running hundreds of front companies in construction, finance, and entertainment. Unlike street gangs, the Yakuza flaunted their presence with office buildings, business cards, and even public charity drives. Their grip extended deep into banking and real estate, with police white papers documenting billions moved through quasi-legal ventures. But in 1992, Japan's anti-Boryokuden law struck back. It banned open affiliation, froze assets, and forced the syndicates underground. The Yakuza adapted, shifting to covert operations and proxy ownership, blurring the line between crime and commerce. Their legacy is chilling. When criminal syndicates wear business suits, the system itself becomes the battlefield. Number 5. The Camorra turned Naples into a city where fear and trash piled up side by side. Clan bosses carved out their fortunes by hijacking the region's waste industry, funneling toxic garbage through illegal dumps and raking in up to 2 billion euros a year. For small business owners, the threat was constant. 1 in 3 reported being forced to pay for protection or to join rigged contracts, their livelihoods squeezed by men with guns and forged city permits. A shopkeeper in a street interview in 2025 said, her voice tight with exhaustion, "You pay or you close. That is the rule here." The Italian courts fought back with a historic maxi trial, resulting in over 300 convictions and 200 million euros in seized assets. But the clans adapted, filling every power vacuum left by arrested bosses. The Camorra's grip is a warning. When the state fails, the mafia becomes the law, and the community pays the price in blood and poisoned earth. Number 4. The Russian Bratva turned the chaos of post-Soviet privatization into a criminal gold rush. As state industries collapsed in the 1990s, Bratva bosses snapped up oil fields, banks, and factories using rigged auctions and muscle, transforming themselves into oligarchs overnight. Billions vanished through offshore havens, with Cyprus and London real estate serving as laundromats for dirty money. Reformers who tried to fight back often paid with their lives. Investigative journalists and anti-corruption officials were gunned down in broad daylight, their murders rarely solved. The Bratva did not just run rackets, they embedded themselves in the machinery of the new Russian state, forging alliances with politicians and security services. Western governments responded with waves of sanctions, targeting hundreds of individuals and freezing assets across Europe and the US. But the Bratva's reach proved global, and their shadow economy remained resilient. When organized crime fuses with national power, the line between state and syndicate disappears, and the world pays the price. Coming to the top 3, MS-13 Mara Salvatrucha turned deportation policy into a weapon, exporting violence across borders. Born in the refugee corridors of the 1980s in Los Angeles, the gang exploded in the 1990s when thousands of members were sent back to Central America. That forced migration seeded a criminal network stretching from Los Angeles to San Salvador, a shadow state with an estimated $25 to $35 million in annual revenue, fueled by extortion, drug trafficking, and human smuggling. In El Salvador, entire neighborhoods pay tribute under threat, while police and prison officials face bribery or death. Human Rights Watch documents show families torn apart, with one survivor recalling, they said, "Pay or your son disappears." Official reports confirm 4,000 to 6,000 active members and dozens of infiltrated police units. Even coordinated crackdowns have failed to break MS-13's grip. The gang's code survives, and so does the fear. Where the law is weak, MS-13 writes its own rules, and the cost is paid in blood. Number 2. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, erupted onto Mexico's criminal landscape with a speed and a violence that stunned even hardened cartel watchers. Born from a bloody split with the Sinaloa and Beltran Leyva factions in the late 2000s, CJNG went from upstart to powerhouse almost overnight. Within a decade, they seized control in over 25 Mexican states, deploying military-grade firepower and armored convoys. Their signature move was weaponized drones dropping explosives on rivals and police convoys, turning city streets into war zones. CJNG's synthetic drug empire pumps billions of pesos through clandestine labs, flooding the U.S. with fentanyl and methamphetamine. Federal forces have launched dozens of operations, but CJNG's decentralized cells, encrypted communications, and scorched earth tactics keep them one step ahead. Each new massacre sends a message: the state is outgunned. The cost was thousands dead, entire towns emptied, and a nation learning that when a cartel evolves into an army, the rules of the game change forever. And finally, in first place, the Sinaloa cartel stands as the apex predator of organized crime. Officially designated as a foreign terrorist organization in the 2025 Federal Register, Sinaloa's empire spans continents and generates an estimated $3 to $5 billion a year. Under El Chapo's reign, the cartel perfected the plaza system, carving up Mexico and U.S. border corridors, bribing customs agents, and embedding operatives in city halls and police stations. Over 150 senior members have been convicted in U.S. courts since 2009, but every takedown exposes just how deep the cartel's roots run into politics, finance, and daily life. One Sinaloan shopkeeper told reporters that you pay the quota or you disappear, and here the cartel is the law. The Sinaloa cartel is not just a criminal network, it is a shadow government, proving that when power, money, and corruption align, the state itself can become the hostage. Across all 10 criminal empires, one pattern dominates. When governments fail, gangs don't just fill the void, they become the power. Corruption and fear are their weapons, outlasting bullets or borders. In a world where the state falters, organized crime doesn't disappear. It rules. Stay vigilant.